How young were you when you got your private pilot certificate? We're talking to somebody who soloed on her 16th birthday and got her private pilot on her 17th birthday in the hangar. Welcome to In the Hangar. I'm Christy Wong.
And I'm Dan Milliken. In the Hangar is sponsored by Flying Eyes that has the new ophthalmics that they actually have these cool magnetic clip sunglasses, aren't they rocking?
They do make you look cool.
And Colton Mortgage, they actually answer your call and they answer your questions. So we'd like our sponsors and we'd like you to check them out. What do we have?
All right. Well, how young were you when you got your private pilot certificate?
I was not 17.
Okay.
I just want to put that out there. Oh, what about you?
Not 17.
Not 17. So that's two not 17s, and I bet if we poll the audience, we'd get very few that had got their pilot's license on their 17th birthday.
Right. But we do have somebody today that did.
Okay, let's meet her.
So let's meet her. Baylee, thank you so much for joining us.
Me.
All right, 17. Wow. Okay, I got to go back to the how did you to set a goal and to have that kind of focus? Mm-hmm. It's got to be something very tangible that you decided growing up. Tell us about that.
So I actually am the first member of my family to get my private pilot's license. So aviation was not really anything that I was familiar with. But I became familiar with it when I took the aviation course at my high school.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay, so it wasn't, you weren't in third grade coloring pictures of airplanes.
No, I was not.
Okay.
Yeah, so through my high school, I was actually exposed to the Young Eagles program through the Experimental Aircraft Association. So I took a Young
Yay.
Eagles flight, and that was it for me.
See,
Really?
This is why I do Young Eagles flights. I'm a Young Eagles pilot. I love that, and I love hearing stories about that, especially when they inspire young females to become pilots. So, okay, so you did your first discovery flight. What was that like?
It was honestly so surreal. There's really no words to describe the feeling that you get the first time lifting up off of the ground. It's something that I was totally unfamiliar with. I was used to just, I can't wait till I'm 16 so I can drive cars. I really didn't think I'd be flying airplanes.
How old were you on the discovery flight?
I was 14.
14.
Yes.
Were you scared?
I have 3 older brothers, so
you're not
I've
scared
always
of
been
anything.
exposed to, Baylee, come jump off this cliff with us. So, of course, I saw that as something that I thought was really fun and just different, and I was really excited more than nervous or anxious.
What do your brothers think about their little sister jumping in airplanes?
They may not admit it, but they're totally jealous. My oldest brother jokes, and his goal for me is to become one of the pilots that carries the people who jump out of the airplanes.
Okay.
So he really wants to jump from an airplane that I'm flying.
We know people.
Yeah. It's good to have a chute, though, if you do that.
Exactly.
For sure.
So what did your parents think when you came home from that discovery flight? Were you like, that's it, I want to be a pilot?
Honestly, I was. I'm so fortunate to have parents that are so supportive of this sort of crazy aspiration of mine.
So they never tried to talk you out of it. They weren't like, oh, that's nice.
Or don't die.
I heard a few of those, but I also received a lot of encouragement from them. Originally, I was actually cheerleading, and I was playing softball, and I was like, guys, I really want to stop doing this so I can pursue this. So they knew it was something that I wanted to do.
Everything else and really focused on that.
Right, I did.
flying.
That's amazing.
Thank
That
you.
is, that's great, actually,
Thank you.
because it showed that you were dedicated to it.
Right, yes, it was
Okay.
definitely something that I wanted to pursue.
Okay.
What was the moment that you decided, I'm going to solo on my 16th and I'm going to do my check ride on my 17th?
As soon as I figured out that was a minimum age requirement that there was, starting at 14, you're like, oh my gosh, I want to get this now, but then it's like, well, you got to wait 2 years, and then you got to wait another, till you can actually carry passengers. And
So what did you do to start that process? Even at the age of 14, did you start studying for ground school? Like, what did you do?
so I started out by, the whole ground school training, and I got on sporties, and that's how I started. But I was fortunate enough to have my Young Eagles pilot as my CFI.
Oh, nice.
So I
Oh.
made a friendship with my CFI, Mark, and from there, it's just the rest is history.
I know Mark. Mark is a great guy.
He's
So,
one of my favorite persons ever.
You could not have done much better
Oh, for
going
sure.
on a Young Eagles flight than with Mark. So
Right.
that's awesome.
Yes.
What would you say to other 12, 13, 14-year-olds that haven't really even thought about this, but it might be something for them?
Start now, you know?
How? How would they start now?
Young Eagles, I honestly feel like that's the best way to start. You know, it gives people an opportunity to see what it's really like. I have given back to the community now. I'm actually a Young Eagles pilot too. So I've had 3 Young Eagles.
Nice.
So seeing their reaction and everything just reminds me of all the opportunities that it provides. So I would definitely encourage people to start by Young Eagles, get involved in associations, network.
Yeah,
It's the best
maybe
way to
hang
go.
out at the airport,
Right.
meet people, get
Yes.
started on ground school.
For sure.
That's a hang up I've learned for a lot of people is getting through that ground school.
Absolutely.
I think what impresses me is that you took the initiative. You said when you were 14, you went on Sporties, you got to ground school. That speaks volumes, I think. You took the initiative.
Right.
Maybe that's what, if you want to do it, you've got to go
Go
do
after it, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of myself in her. 'Cause I basically did the same thing. I was like, okay, I want to fly airplanes. Okay, now I can afford to fly airplanes. And I mean, I just, as you know, I just went for it and I've never stopped.
Right.
So that being said, what's next?
Well, I'm definitely not stopping here. I
Perfect.
definitely
Okay.
want to pursue a career in aviation. I hope to go into more the digital marketing aspect of it. So being demo pilots for like Kodiak, Cessna, Beechcraft, that sort of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
So-
really cool.
So not really 121, but that's a real interesting route.
Yeah, that is. And I mean, here's the deal. People, they ask me all the time, like, what are some different, routes that you can take in aviation? Do you have to be an airline pilot? And the answer is no. We usually throw out oh, you could be a ferry pilot. You can be,
For sure.
a this or that.
Banner tower,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That is an aspect that I had honestly not thought about. Was like, oh yeah, you can go be a demo pilot for
Right.
these companies. So that's really cool.
What's on the short-term horizon? You graduated from high school now?
No, I'm
Oh.
actually a junior in high school.
Oh my
so I've got
gosh.
another year left.
Wow. So you're a junior in high school and you're already, okay. got it.
So what do your friends think of all this, flying stuff?
So I hear a lot of, you're absolutely crazy. And I hear a lot of, man, that's awesome. When is my next flight? So,
Yeah.
Do they take me up?
oh, of course.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times people say, hey, can you take me to this weekend?
Is it considered a Young Eagles flight?
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
Considered a $100
can I
hamburger.
get, yeah, right? If you
Yeah.
pay for my meal, okay, I'll pay for fuel.
Yeah. Are you working on your instrument right now?
I am. So I'm starting to prepare for the written exam for my
Okay,
instrument
awesome.
training. So, yeah, I'm just now starting that.
17th birthday, check ride. Tell us what that felt like.
So it was such like a gratifying moment. It's something that I had been so excited for the past 3 years of my life. So to be able to do that, and I had an incredible DPE. I actually had Joe Casey, so him being there with me
I
made
did
it
not
extra
know that.
special. So.
Yeah.
Joe Casey's special to this
Oh
channel.
yes, I can't tell you how many hours I've spent watching
Oh, so
in
you
the
knew about
hangar
this
with,
when we-
with
Oh,
Joe
awesome.
Casey. So,
Yay.
yeah.
So did those episodes help you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Did you watch the one?
High five.
Did you watch the one that Joe, the very first one we did with Joe, where he talked about check rides and tips and
I
everything?
did, and I watched Slips and Skids. I had those
Yeah.
down. So
Yes.
yeah, he can thank that to In the Hangars.
Awesome.
Yay.
We never know when we're reaching out to see if a guest will come on, if
Mm-hmm.
they even have any reference. Well, In the Hangar, it's an aviation show that,
yeah.
so it's nice that you at least
Yeah,
know what it
That's
was.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in the check ride, or you're getting ready for your check ride, and it was like, here I am.
Right. So I actually had a sort of abnormal check ride. On my 17th birthday, I was supposed to take it at Cherokee County, where Joe Casey is. But winds were coming out of the southwest, which were not favorable to the runway that was there, and they were 14 to 17 knots that morning. So he thankfully agreed to come to Lufkin, so at Angelina County Airport. And I sat down, took my oral, went through that great. Ready to get in the airplane, check winds. They're now 17, gusting 21. You know, most people would have said, you know what, I'd prefer to take it another day, but you know, it was my
It's your birthday.
I was like, I'm doing this, baby. So
Wow, see, determination.
How did the crosswind landings do?
they went. You know, I'm here
kept it
now.
on the pavement.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I think it was also a learning experience for me. So it was good.
Any flight with Joe Casey is a learning
Oh,
experience.
that's right. Yeah. You've
Yeah.
got like a celebrity right beside you, you know.
We'll have to see if Joe watches that. All right. Okay, last thing. You know, what would you say to anybody else out there about what it takes to get this done?
You know, it takes a lot of drive and passion to do it. You know, it's not something that you can just say, I think I want to do this. It's something that you really got to be dedicated towards because, you know, it takes a lot of time, money for that matter. You know, scholarships are a great way to get your check right or your training, which is what I did. So, I mean, you know, be driven, be passionate about it, and, you know, don't stop. Push your horizons.
Do you regret giving up all of the ancillary like activities that you were
Cheerleading.
doing?
You know, looking back on it now, I really wouldn't have gotten anywhere with, you know, throwing pom-poms in the air and doing flips. But, you know, aviation is going to get me somewhere. So I think it was worth it.
Awesome. Oh my gosh.
Awesome. Yeah, got to end on that one.
I could definitely talk to you all day
thank you.
yeah, this is well, you're very inspiring as well.
Thank you so much.
So, well, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you
today.
guys
It was
again
such
for
a
having me.
pleasure.
Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. And, you know, as always, like, share, subscribe if you like the content. And, you know, if you're out there thinking about it, whether you're 16 or 17 or you're 50, go for it. You just need drive, you need determination, but we encourage you to go for it. And there's an army of aviators who are behind you and encourage you to do it. So we'll see you guys next time.
In the hangar.